Today we are kit building our very own ukulele. Now we're going to try and model it on Hokusai's Great Wave. I'm no artist, but let's get into it and see what happens. Okay, here we are, and we've got a dried greeny turquoise on the bottom and the lid of the ukulele now on the top there, and all around the bottom. So you can see it's not looking too bad. I mean, it's looking very basic, let's be perfectly fair, but I'm quite pleased with this. And what I didn't show you in the last video, because I forgot to do it until I switched the camera off, is I've done a couple of turquoisey green, or three splashes on the wave there. I think you can just see that in the camera. And to be honest with you, they're a bit clumsy. I'm not entirely happy with them, but the idea is to add other colours to that, and that's actually what I'm going to do now. So the plan now is to add a little bit of silver on the back of each of these strokes, and a little bit of really light blue on the front. So we're going to end up with a nice multicoloured sort of dashes to the wave. That's the plan, and then the plan later on, once all that's dry, is to go over it with a sort of spotty white effect, sort of like the froth of the wave. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of light blue to that as well, which I'm going to do in just a second. So these are the colours we've got. We've got it just says silver. It's funny how some of these paints are just really normal colour names, and then some of them are so complicated you don't know what they are. Blue Lake, that's the vibrant blue. That's actually the blue that I mixed in with white to get the pale blue background, and I'm just going to use this on its own now, because you can see it's a really striking shade of blue. So we're going to use that as a little bit of extra blue on top of the wave. So I've still got my wet tray. We've got quite a horrendous mix in here now. I'm going to try and utilise the bit at the front which is not so messy. So we'll start with the blue, because I want to start with the neck, and I'll show you what I'm going to do there in a moment. I'm just going to pop a bit of that. I don't need a lot. Just put a dollop in there. I think you can see the wet tray in the camera, can't you? So what I'm actually going to do is, this has got this obviously dark blue background on the head, and then this green wave. What I want to do is just put a tiny little band of blue at the bottom of the neck. So the fingerboard is going to come there. And what I thought I would do is just have a thin strip of light blue at the top of the fingerboard, just as an extra little colour. I think that would look really nice. It's about tying all the colours together, and I want the colours on the neck to match the colours on the body of the instrument, so then it just becomes a nice whole piece of art, doesn't it? I like the way I'm talking as if I actually know what I'm talking about now, as if I have any idea what I'm doing with art. So before I get my paintbrush out, I need to do a bit more mask. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm just enjoying using the masking tape. What I love about using the masking tape is it allows me to be really uncareful with the painting. So I'm just going to put a really thin strip, I think about there. Make sure that's straight. Yep, as simple as that. And that's literally leaving a 2mm gap there over the edge, on the edge of the top of the neck there. And that's just going to be a dash of blue. Just making sure that's in the right place. Yep, so that's going to be a dash of blue. And I've gone for an extra fine paintbrush. So really fine paintbrush tips. I'm going to be trying to do some really delicate splashes of colour, but I'm going to put this on quite strongly. Yeah, that's definitely got masking tape underneath as well. I'm worried about putting it in the wrong place. In fact, I've watered that down instantly. I've watered that down too much, so that's just going to try and lose the water on that, and then we can put it in a bit more strongly. There we go. Oh, that's got far too much water on it. That's not good. Tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, whoops! I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a right mess. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab a tissue, and I'm going to blot that off, and I'm going to do that again. I could edit it so that you don't even know that happened, but I probably won't, because there's no pretense about this. I'm not pretending to be good at art. But I'm hoping that the overall effect is going to be nice. I'm hoping to actually show that even without any artistic talent, it's still possible to do a bit of an effective ukulele design. Just have to be willing to have a go and mix the colours together and see what happens. So you can see there I've got a nice band of blue. That looks a real mess on the camera, I know, but there's obviously masking tape above and below that. So when that peels off, it'll be about a 2mm band of blue at the top of the neck. And I'm hoping that will be really effective. I might be wrong. We'll find out. So obviously the two pieces together are so far matching quite nicely. And you can see how the colours are going to try and tie together. So we're going to try and add that light blue now to the waves. Now I'm going to do it on the front of the greeny turquoise strokes that I've done. And I'm really nervous about doing this because this I'm sort of committing. Right, okay, actually really worried this is going to go very wrong. Very quickly. Right, dash. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced by that. Do one down here. But my plan is to go over the whole thing with a sort of white polka dot effect. So the purpose of that being deliberately to disguise my awful brush strokes. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah, that's gone on way too heavily. Yeah. I need to try and break up this really big green blob effect that I've managed to get before. Yeah, this is not looking pretty. Let's try one at the top. Whoops, I actually missed what I was aiming for there. Well, that's about as good as it's going to get. Don't worry, the final effect will be better. Maybe. Lots of white covering it later. That's the plan. Right, okay, so that's half of what we're doing. And then the other bit, so you can see that's a real disaster so far, I know. Look, don't judge me yet. Judge me at the end when I've got a finished thing. Because, you know, art's all about making mistakes and then redoing things, isn't it? It's the joy of art. You sort of have a blank canvas, you sort of create your thing, you change it, come back to it. So we're going to add, there's a good dollop of silver there. I think this silver is going to go on really liberally. It's that's quite a strong colour, so I need to make sure there's no blue on my brush, and also there's no water in there, because that's going to be, let's get that on the tissue. Oh, that's good. I hardly dare again, so I'm going to go and try and do the sort of other edge now, the back of it, in a sort of silver like this. Ugh. Well, it could be worse. Could be better, but it could be worse. I mean, in fairness, it couldn't be a lot worse. Really couldn't. Oh my gosh. You're all going to be judging me, I know. I don't mind. So that's what we've got. Not entirely convinced by this. Ideas in the comments now as to what you would do to fix that. Don't say start again. Right, so I've got these rather thick lines in the waves. So I think I need some sort of effect over it, almost like, not a glitter effect, but in sort of lots of bubbly white surf, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to apply that. I might have to do a test on something. or I could practice it on the neck board where the fingerboard's going to cover it on the neck. I might do a bit of practice later. So there we go. There's our ukulele so far. It's not looking awful, and hopefully by the end it will be looking okay. We are going to varnish it as well. The hope being that the varnish will somehow miraculously transform it into something amazing. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.